Welcome in, Forge Mates, to Forge Master Metal Reviews, the place where you can get the most out of your metal.
If you don't know who we are, make sure to subscribe. You're going to get a lot of cool videos and break the neck of the like button. Today we're going to be talking about some of our favorite underground bands. Let's kick it off. Go for it.
These are our picks from Bandcamp. The first one on my list is Seventh Storm, Maledictus. This was released on August 12th on Atomic Fire Records. Dude, I had an absolute blast with this record. Seventh Storm are creating some very unique stuff here, and I think you should give it a shot. Check this out. So this is a new gothic metal, new metal meets epic heavy metal project by Mike Gasper, the drummer of Moonspell. To be honest, I can't believe that this like gothic new metal vibe works, but it totally fucking does. Think like David Draymond fronting a goth metal project. It's kind of weird, but it totally works. Anyways, the album tells tales of pirate curses, stories at sea, mythos, and stories of old, with sounds and influences from the epic, like kind of sounds of like earlier Bathory catalog, which is pretty cool. It's triumphant sounding in their discography, but it's met with like epic and power metal vocal vibes, which totally works. You can tell that this is a band trying a lot of new things in their debut, and that's totally okay. That's what this is about. The underground spotlight. Some songs could have benefited from a tighter runtime to keep things a bit more streamlined, but like any debut record, experimenting with something new, you have to try it to see what fucking works. The enthusiasm and the talent is totally there. Just look at how much fun they're having in their music video. Seriously, check out The Haunted Sea. It's hilarious. I love it. Highly recommended if you want to hear something new. It's a really cool record. 4 out of 5 Lost Ships at Sea.
Very good score and a very intriguing write-up here. This sounds like something I want to check out.
The frontline nurses.
First pick on my Underground Spotlight is a hometown band that I've actually followed for many years in their various iterations. Most of these guys are classmates of mine, and their bass player and I were both once in a Blind Prophecy together. So I gotta give these guys a shout. The Nurse, they are a tight-knit group of musicians, and it really comes forth in their debut album, Memento Mori. Like a lot of my favorite albums from this year, this gets in and out, showcasing masterful pacing. The album actually has 10 songs, clocks in at around 37 minutes. It's a real sweet spot, if you ask me. This is not a heavy band per se, but knowing these guys, it might be the heaviest thing that they've done as a music collective. A lot of their stuff is like rooted in punk, like NoFX, Rise Against, Pennywise, but there are definite nods to the metal tropes and the random bursts of syncopation and stuff like that. There are also elements that are in the song transitions that seem to be inspired by 70s and 80s prog rock greats like Yes, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, or King Crimson. This really helps to round out the sound, putting them into more post-punk territory. I also have to point out the fantastic production by Chris Paquette at No Boundary Studios. This dude has dialed in a guitar sound and a sound overall that really lends to this band. The guitars have just enough hiss to kind of lean into that gritty, overdriven territory. I love the guitar sections. They all have their own unique sound, and most importantly, these guys are fellow gearheads. Everything sounds great. If you like guitar-driven post-punk with insanely unique vocals, I didn't even talk about the vocals, but I'm going to stop talking because I've talked too much. You cannot sleep on Memento Mori. This is one of my favorite albums from June with a score of 4.6 out of 5. Blessings from the Angel of Death.
Cool to see, like, you know, your old stomping ground buddies still getting after it.
Hell yeah.
Give me a hell yeah. My next pick here is Carrion, Vael, Abhorrent Obsessions, released August 12th on New Unique Leader. More melodic death metal, and here's some that I don't see many of you guys talking about. This is melodic death metal. It's much more in the brutal sphere on the side of things, more like Black Dahlia Murder kind of territory, but the band is not afraid to stray into more brutal territory, invoking sounds like Revocation and, dare I say, mid-era Cattle Decapitation, before Travis, went nuts with his harsh, clean vocal sound. What you got here with Abhorrent Obsessions is a killer slab of extremely creative, tight, and very well-produced death metal that checks all of the boxes of brutal and fun. There's some highly technical riffing on this record that reminds me of some of the work of Psychroptic, which we picked on our Best of the Month, has been putting out over the years, and even some surprises into Symphonic territory, which I thought was a pretty cool addition to their sound. Awesome record here with a lot of very fun riffing and extremely impressive songwriting. Definitely worthy to check out if you love melodic death. 4.2 out of 5, big masked heads with dead body hair.
My next choice, we're reaching all the way back to February for their debut release, Eldritch. I shall raise my burning sword. This is an independent black metal band that I stumbled upon while browsing the One Man Band YouTube channel. Definitely some cool stuff on there worth checking out. Miles Alcott of Eldritch is using the band to explore some darker themes, going for more of a Bathory, Dark Throne sort of sound where simple is king, lo-fi production is queen, and blast beats are your army of dragons. The production on this record is just fine. The drums are pushed in the back a little bit, allowing the vocals and guitars to get in your face. I really like the implementation of the keys, using pads and choir sounds to really beef up some sections of the songs. I'm going to be super nitpicky and say that the cymbals sound a bit boxy for me. I wish I had a little bit more bite in those upper frequencies, especially the ride and the crash. Overall, this is a really strong debut if you're into the black metal category, especially if you like yours on the more punk thrash inspired side. Sure, there's some melodic elements with the patches and the hypnotic leads, but the music definitely serves its dark masters very well. Despite the formula being a little bit standard, this is a fine black metal album from the UK. If you can't get enough one-man black metal groups, put Eldritch on your radar for sure. 3 out of 5, Charging Battle Mages.
And my last pick here is Early Moods, self-titled, released August 5th of 2022. This album was extremely surprising and one of the highlights of the month, to be honest. It's not reinventing the wheel of traditional doom by any means, but man, is this album a ton of fun with great riffing, Sabbath worship. Early Moods play a style of doom similar to bands like I said, Black Sabbath, but also Trouble, Candlemass, Witchfinder General, so it's in that vein. If you like that fuzzed out stoner sound, but with more upbeat rock and roll vibe, with killer traditional clean vocals, similar to like the Sword's older discography, I think you'll be right at home here with Early Moods self-titled. For a debut record, this band knows exactly what they're doing and they do it very well. There's psychedelic structures, big fuzzed out riffs, winding leads, thundering drums. Their debut has it all in terms of stoner doom and that heavy metal vibe. They're not afraid to get menacing either and make things sound just a tad bit more evil when they need to. Definitely a band that would be fun to catch live. Check this one out if you missed it. 4.3 out of 5, Fuzzy Doomheads.
Boston-based, A Feast for Lampreys debut record Graveyard Abyss is definitely worth putting on our list today. According to their Bandcamp, they were created in 2017 in protest to the ongoing and willful destruction of the oceans for short-term profit. I think it's great to see artists use their voice and their creativity to take positive action for humanity. Do no harm, and you're cool in our book. Musically, this band seems to pull inspirations from very unique acts like Diablo Swing Orchestra, Faith No More, and Psy, putting their own blackened spin on the music. Using Jessica Rose on a few of the tracks really helped to keep the vocals diverse and fresh. She has a fantastic voice and was very well utilized on this record. The composition and the performance of the bass is really what stood out for me, believe it or not, and when I found out that it was Seven Spire's very own Peter Derania, it suddenly became clear as to why I couldn't stop paying attention to the fucking bass playing. The dude is a phenom. He carries this music. I want to talk a little bit about the production. There is a lot of reverb used all over this record. I understand that there's oceanic themes. Having reverb is really going to push that. It's just not cohesive to me. I think a lot of the instruments have different reverb styles and sounds, and it's a little out of focus for me. On a more positive note, though, I think that I love the use. I love the usage of the reed organ on this record. It's really the perfect instrument to help fill up those empty frequencies. Some of the guitar parts are a little strange to me, though. In the production, it sounds like they might have used some like older material or something like that. You had mentioned that to me. I don't know if that's the case or not, but if that is the case, that's okay. I understand that if you're going to bring up some old stuff and reuse it, you might not have. We were talking about this earlier. You can't remember what you played. You don't know what you're doing. So it's just like, yeah, here's a solo I wrote 17 years ago. Let's just, use the MIDI or whatever. It's okay. I will let that pass. I think that the music here is really cool. As you can probably tell, I do have some mixed feelings about this debut record. Overall, though, I think it really belongs on this list. I have to say that we want to support our local acts regardless of what y'all are doing, especially those cutting your fucking teeth. The song of Urchins and Worms definitely was the highlight for me. 3 out of 5, Creatures from the Deep.
This is a cool album, man. Definitely check it out.
What were your thoughts about our underground picks? Leave some of your picks down below.
Go with the God's Forge, mate. Avoid the Carrion Vael. See you guys next time.